Hi all, myself Premkumar from Freshworks. I'm going to talk about our migration journey from Cassandra to ScyllaDB today. I'm very happy to share at Monster Scale Summit. This is about me. I have 15 years of experience in industry and 10 years at Freshworks, and I have expertise in relational database and NoSQL databases, especially in designing and optimizing scalable AI optimizing apps. And I also experience in complex problem-solving technologies, and also I love to mentor the young talents so that they can reach great heights. And I also would love to work on engineering excellence projects on operational level. This is about Freshworks. We founded Freshworks at 2010, and so it reached Nasdaq in IPO by 2021, and we have revenue around 7,000 million plus, and our employee count is 4,500, and our customer base is 67k plus all across the globe, but ranging from all mid market, small, and enterprise in all crazy sectors. And we have two different solutions, uh, two major solutions from Freshworks. One is employee experience and customer experience. Employee experience, we have something called as Fresh Service that is really great, and our flagship product, and being serving all across the globe, multiple organization, their employee IT business operates here and scales much better. And we also have on the CX front something called as Fresh Desk, and that is really great on the customer front. Customers can, business can use this to connect to their customers to know their pulse and feel, and also the support. And that is also powered by Fresh Sales and Fresh Marketer. And these both the products are supported by a platform called Freshworks Neo. That is the platform service that is being powered for these two products. And we also have something called as Ready AI that is having excellent ROI for the agents, whichever EX and CX both are getting extremely benefited through these AI services, and the accuracy and the ROI on our agents get multiple hours per day savings through this particular Ready AI. And jumping into today's agenda, I'm going to talk about our migration journey, the background, motivation, need, goals, approaches, challenges, and optimizations. Yeah. So let me talk a bit about my team. I'm part of the Dataverse team at Freshworks, where we are responsible for availability, reliability, monitoring, recovery, and keep current. So when I say keep current, is keeping the databases up to the current version so that it doesn't reaches the end of life at any time. And we also have a mix of self-hosted and cloud solutions. We select the solution based on the problem and then excel in it. And our Uber goal and Dataverse is to maintain the application team agnostic to the underlying databases through which, for an example, customers, meaning the tenants, can use Cassandra driver, which can connect to both Cassandra come Scala. So we either do through compatible clients or we do this through proxies. And these are the list of databases that is being used in Freshworks today and managed by Dataverse team. And it is MySQL, Redis, Kafka, ClickHouse, Memcache, Postgres, and ScyllaDB. And MySQL being the the source of truth at Freshworks historically, and combined by Postgres as well. So we have close to 4.5 petabytes of data over there, and Redis being our in-memory store, primary in-memory store, being all the use cases being supported there. It's hosted in-house, and we range around 2 million IOPS that is being supported by our systems and Redis today. And yes, moving on to the ScyllaDB portfolio, like we have 10 plus clusters today, and with a node count of 45, the IOPS that is at average is around 500k at given time, and the storage is 270 terabytes, including the replication factor. And the background and the need for this ScyllaDB migration, I'll cover this part. So first, let me go to the products that is using, or the platform services come products that is using ScyllaDB at the moment. So we have a service called Hypertrail that is part of the Neo platform, which actually stores activities and audit logs today, and it powers both the product Freshdesk and Fresh Service for retrieving this data. So we also have something called as workflow automator, wherein which each and every ticket that is created on the system can be scheduled for automations, wherein immediately the workflow can get kicked in and based on the filters and conditions matching, it can actually perform the necessity action. So Hypertrail, as I said, handles activities data and audit log data. So basically, there is not much of updates there. Rather, there is no updates at all. Only inserts happens here because activity once gets inserted, we then don't get to update, right? So it is only insert data, and data is being written to Kafka via RDS and application through producers, and then it actually transforms to some form in ETL through Hypertrail lab and stored in ScyllaDB for later consuming it and with various filters. And moving on to the Cassandra overview. So when Hypertrail was powered by Cassandra before a year, wherein which we had 24 TB of raw data without replication and span across 56 Cassandra nodes. We had a lot of challenges in terms of repairs and consistencies. So repairs, whenever there was repairs running, there was latency coming into picture, and we need to run it through all the nodes. And at some point, we stopped this because of these high latency problems. And backup and restore trials were also there, and the latency in tail end latencies were also very high. And then we were figuring out a solution, so we figured out ScyllaDB might fit into this very well, and then we started the POC, wherein which we load tested the traffic which that flows into Cassandra through Hypertrail. So we actually took the query patterns and replayed in Scylla come Cassandra, wherein which we are able to see the tail latencies are much better in Scylla. And we are extremely happy and very satisfying with the performance which Scylla gives for the tail end latencies and the scale it can offer. And as I said, Scylla had the better hardware efficiency. With fewer machine, they're able to support the same IOPS which Cassandra are supporting. That way, the hardware maintenance becomes easy because of smaller number of machines. And operation simplicity was also there through a lot of automations and repairs and compaction scaling part. And cost reduction, of course, that plays a major role as well. So cost was also lesser compared to Cassandra in terms of hardware and license. Moving on to the goals. So we decided to do this migration to Scylla, as I said, because we are satisfied with the numbers and also the cost. So as part of this migration, we wanted to achieve several goals. That is, we want to do with zero downtime and the low latency overhead during the period of migration, and the accuracy. When we say migration, we don't want to compromise on the accuracy part. We want all the data to be migrated as enriched in the source system. We don't want to miss any data or correctness. And the efficiency is, we want to do this migration in a much more faster way rather than spanning across several months. We want to do it in a much faster way and in a cost efficient manner as well. And the migration approach we selected includes 3 different phases. One is historical data migration, and another one being dual rates to capture the delta, and the other one is for the data validation. So once we migrate these 2 parts, the actual data that is coming in every now and then is through dual rates and the historical data, and then we want to also validate before switching the endpoints to ScyllaDB. So we had 3 options in front of us because the historical data migration is a bulk of activity. So we had data stack CDM tool option. We also had streaming the SS table via tools option, and we also had load and stream using node tool, which we selected eventually because of its fast approach and also minimal impact on the Scylla cluster, new cluster, right? So when I say load and stream, so what happens is, we actually took the node tool snapshot from the Cassandra cluster, and then by actually flushing the memory SS tables into a disk, and then we put it into the EBS machine, took the snapshot and passed on to the Scylla account and booted as volume attached to the Scylla instance, and then using the node tool refresh, we actually started streaming to Scylla clusters. So this is what that happened in the background for doing the historical data migration. And we enabled dual rates. We set up a cluster with C6 2x large into 3, and with these 3 nodes, we are able to enable the dual rates for through ZDM. So ZDM proxy introduced very less latency, which is lesser than 10 milliseconds, which is okay for us. So any write that is coming, now the application has only the ZDM endpoint. Underlying it actually pass on the writes to both Scylla and Cassandra, and reads being maintained with Cassandra. So ZDM proxy takes care of this, as I said. And once our historical data migration is completed, we also did validation. I'll go through the validation and come to this. So we also did validations. So once historical data and ZDM proxy is set up, so new data comes via ZDM, and also the old data, historical data, comes through the node tool approach, right? So we also wanted to validate the data, like between source and target, where in which we had some problems because the data looks huge and validation was running for a lot of time. And we also tried tuning certain CDM properties, but the gaps were very high. For example, we were hit into large partitions and there is OM errors because the data has to be uh, you know loaded into the entire memory, and we are also seeing errors, OM errors and all this actually. So we decided to optimize this area in the CDM part. We actually introduced two new areas. One is we just want to validate the row exists or not on the full. We don't want to read all the columns in a row and then validate that. We only wanted to see whether the row exists or not. So we just took that approach and introduced that. And we introduced batch comparison mode. Basically, we read 1,000 records from the source and then compare that here through pagination and finding the correct batches and comparing it here. So that way we are able to optimize the system, the validation in the CDM, and reduce 80% of the time that it takes for the validation. So even we got some taglines stating that this is the fastest validator available in the market today through CDM. And then validation is also complete now. Then we wanted to do the switch now. So before doing the switch, we wanted to gain confidence, through which we tried using async reads to the target. That is, ZDM has a capability to do async reads, meaning the read traffic will be simulated and then tried reading from the Scylla cluster. So there we can achieve confidence through logs, and also then we move the read traffic to Scylla cluster. And once read also achieves stability and confidence from our point of view, we actually moved the read traffic into the Scylla cluster itself. So then we are completely happy that all data flows in here with all the consistency part. And yeah, these are the optimizations we achieved through the validations part. So large partition, we splitted the partition range into smaller chunks and ran it, and also control the amount of data loaded rate. And validation adopted range base and also through the key presence, whether the key present or not was the only option considered during validation. And as I said, it achieved 80% of the efficiency in validation. So we are also, that's it on the hypertrail use case migration journey. We are also working on some of the future use cases called the blob store, which actually migrates all the blob content across Freshworks into ScyllaDB. And we are also working on a new UCR data store, which is again a platform store, and evaluating UCR for ScyllaDB, that is storing all the context data, and DynamoDB use cases across Freshworks into ScyllaDB. Thank you. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. These are my contact details. I'm open for Q&A now and also through my channels here.